My name is Jimby Nizita and you're watching News Track coming to you live from our review studio. Good afternoon. The House of Representatives has stepped up efforts to overhaul Nigeria's aviation laws, with lawmakers proposing a new revenue sharing formula that could significantly alter how billions of naira generated from the sector's 5% ticket sales charge and cargo sales charge are distributed among aviation agencies. The move comes against a backdrop of figures presented before lawmakers showing that the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority received an estimated 777 billion naira from the 5% ticket sales charge and 352 billion naira from the cargo sales charge in 2026, bringing the combined figure to about 1.129 trillion naira. The proposed amendment is expected to review the sharing formula between aviation agencies, automate remittances to beneficiary agencies, harmonize conflicting provisions in existing aviation laws, and strengthen the financial capacity of institutions responsible for safety, navigation, investigation, and other critical services in the sector. Speaker of the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas, who was represented at a recent stakeholder engagement by the sponsor of the amendment bill, Sada Sodi, assured stakeholders that the review was aimed at addressing long-standing structural and funding challenges within the aviation industry. The proposed amendment has, however, stirred tension among aviation agencies, particularly the NCAA and the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, as both institutions make competing arguments over how the revenue should be shared. Under the existing arrangement, the NCAA has 56% of the 5% charge, while NAMA receives 22%. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency gets 9%, and the Nigerian College of Aviation Technology receives 7%. Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau gets 6%. The proposed formula will reduce the NCAS share to 40%, while increasing NAMA's allocation from 22% to 40%. The special advisor to Governor Caleb Mutfwang on budgeting, Obadiah Joshua Afwang, says the present administration is committed to ensuring that every naira budgeted translates to visible projects and services for the people of Plateau State. Afwang stated this on day 2 of the ongoing engagement on enhancing budget credibility, accountability, and fiscal sustainability for ministries, departments, and agencies, held at the conference hall of the SGS office at Government House, Little Refill, Jos. Our correspondent Simon Swakia has details as presented in our studio.
And so that's why we're meeting here, because most of your request maybe may not align with the time administration issue.
Ministries, departments, and agencies that appeared on the second day include Environment, Climate Change and Mineral Development, Water Resources and Energy, Plateau Environmental Protection and Sanitation Agency, Plateau Rural Water Supply and Sanitation Agency. Others are Plateau Municipal Water Supply and Sanitation Agency, Jos Water Services Corporation, and Plateau State Energy and Electricity Regulatory Commission. Declaring this session open, the special advisor to Governor Caleb Mutfwang on budgeting, Obadiah Afwang, said the engagement is not intended to withhold any MDA but to identify areas for improving internally generated revenue and strengthening budget performance across the state. He noted that with the last year's engagement with MDAs, there has been significant improvement in budget credibility, accountability, and fiscal sustainability in the state.
My governor will always say we want Plateau to be second-best economy of Nigeria. Will we be second-best with this 20 billion? At least if we cannot, at least with ITR, we should be able to pay our salaries. But we're not. So it means we have a lot to do. The higher your ITR, the more far exactly it returns to you. So it's like an incentive, performance for result and reward. So if we're not performing, we're shortchanging the state. So if we are able to raise high ITR, it means we're going to Abuja and get more money. So that when we ask, government can release the money.
In their separate remarks, the General Manager of Plamwas Dakar Jalkes, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Environment, Climate Change and Mineral Development, Michael Yabilsu, and the Managing Director, Plateau State Energy Corporation, Ponzin Gamde, commended the Office of the SA Budgeting for providing the platform for MDs to showcase their revenue generation potentials.
This engagement today was timely. It's not an exaggeration in view of the fact that it was very, very impactful, because has become apparent that it's not just about making your budget bogus, but at the end of the day, it's all about making the budget to be realistic.
That this is worth doing. It is really impactful. It has opened a lot of eyes. And in fact, if I were to suggest, I would have suggested that this engagement takes place before now, so that what we have done so far in our budget submissions would have been far better than what it is. But as it is, yes, we still have room to make corrections. We'll go back to make corrections.
Today's engagement on budgeting, organized by the SHP Governor on budget, is very, very important. This prepares MDAs to do their budgeting based on reality.
The engagement with other MDAs continues.
Women have been urged to remain united with their families and vigilant in protecting their children from abuse, exploitation, and other dangers. The acting chairperson of the Plateau State Gender and Equal Opportunities Commission, Olivia Dazem, made the call during a one-day sensitization and awareness program on gender and equal rights, human trafficking prevention, and the strengthening of family values in homes and communities. Our correspondent reports that the event was held at the Kokin RCC Boy Women's Fellowship, held in Mongo local government area.
Speaking to the Women's Fellowship on Child Trafficking Awareness, the chairperson of the Plateau State Gender and Equal Opportunities Commission, Olivia Daziem, emphasized that equal rights are consistent with Christian teaching and reaffirmed the dignity of every person created in God's image. While explaining the biblical teachings and constitutional foundations for gender equality, Olivia Daziem took the women through the provisions of the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act and the Child Rights Act in the country. She also stated that as mothers, women are called to be a light in their families and communities, noting that knowledge of their rights and those of their children empowers them to speak up when abuse occurs in the church or community.
The challenges that we have in Plateau State have arisen because as parents we have failed one way or the other. As parents we have abdicated our responsibilities towards our children and a responsibility attached to it so that we take care of the children by ourselves. The challenge that we usually have found is that parents will say, somebody will help us. And I've always asked the question, if somebody is going to help you, who is going to help that person?
RCC Chairman Boy and PCC Chairman Gindri, Reverend Jacob Iremia Dashop, stressed the need for homes to be built on love, mutual respect, and godly discipline. He said that a home where a girl's voice is heard and valued is a home where a trafficker will find it difficult to thrive.
Honestly, it's a divine arrangement. This agency comes at the appropriate time, at a time when both the community and the church need it.
Earlier, the president of Kokin Women's Fellowship Zumunta RCC Boy, Margaret Joseph, expressed appreciation to the executive governor of Plateau State, Caleb Mutfang, for appointing Olivia Daziem to head the commission, while urging the women to remain vigilant about their children's movements, whereabouts, and associations. The colorful awareness program also provided an opportunity to call for an end to the practice of parents selling or giving out their wards as house helps before it ended with songs and prayers for the Plateau State government.
Poor awareness of genotype status and the lack of informed decisions among intending couples remain major concerns in the fight against sickle cell disease. Head of Department of Theatre and Film Art, University of Jos, Professor Hussaini Saku made the call during a community theatre presentation on sickle cell disease, organized in collaboration with Shem Sickle Cell Advocacy Foundation and Naji Care Foundation. Our correspondent was at Zion Hostel, Naraguta campus of the institution, venue of the event.
Head of Department of Theatre and Film Arts, University of Jos, Professor Hussaini Saku, said the program was aimed at raising awareness about sickle cell disease and using theatre as a powerful tool to educate the public and encourage informed health decisions.
We use theatre to reflect the society. We use theatre to mediate the society. We use theatre to correct the society. We use theatre to change the society. And we also use theatre to reflect the society.
Invited guest pharmacist Adekola Adeshino also spoke on the realities of sickle cell disease and the importance of making informed choices.
Today, see how theatre is incorporating other fields into creating awareness so that people can really know what is at stake if the people are there to marry each other despite their genotype incompatibility.
Two sickle cell warriors, Audu Johanna and Inshe David, shared their personal experiences of living with the condition, offering insights into the challenges and resilience associated with sickle cell disease.
My journey as a warrior since the birth now has started a lot. I've missed opportunities. I've missed chances to be in the midst of because of it. But nevertheless, I think because sometimes you're living with the condition, it's more than but then with care, support, and prayers from the parents, caregivers, and also with management of the condition myself, managing myself.
The event also featured genotype testing, poetry, music, drama displays, and presentations from other departments, all aimed at strengthening public understanding and encouraging collective actions against sickle cell disease. The highlight of the program was a drama presentation titled Together Against Sickle Cell. Every child deserves a healthy future. Love wisely. Know your genotype, which emphasized the importance of knowing one's genotype before making marital decisions. In Jos, I am Janet Asut.
And on the foreign scene, at least 13 people have been killed in a Ukrainian drone strike on the Russian Republic of Tatarstan, officials have said. One child was among the victims, with 75 more people injured, Russian authorities said, in one of the deadliest single attacks on Russia since the start of Moscow's full-scale war in Ukraine. Kiev has not yet commented on the strike on the city, which is more than 1,100 kilometers from the Ukrainian border. Ukraine's armed forces confirmed Stenovo oil refinery had been hit, while Ukrainian defense technology manufacturer Firepoint said its FP-1 drones had been used in the attack. The strike lasted several hours overnight and into the morning, local sources say. Verified images on social media show large plumes of smoke and flames rising into the sky in daytime, with air raid sirens howling in the background. Although there is no official information yet on the target of the attack, Kiev has recently stepped up its strikes on facilities it says contribute revenue and logistics to Russia's war on Ukraine. And talking sports, the door of Nigeria's senior women's national football team, the Nigeria Super Falcons, and the national under-20 team, the Flying Eagles, face painful exits in the Women's African Cup of Nations and West African Football Union Zone B. Our correspondent, who has been monitoring latest developments in the competitions, reports that the losses come with costly implications. The report.
Nigeria's Super Falcons registered their worst ever Women's Africa Cup of Nations performance after falling to a 1-0 defeat to the indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon in Sunday's quarter-final fixture that held in Casablanca, Morocco. A monstrous 20th-minute free-kick strike via teenager Marve Nyaju overpowered the instincts of Nigeria's Chiamaka Nnadozie, whose best efforts could only help the ball into her net. The Super Falcons will lead a barrage of attempts, but the valiant efforts of Cameroon goalkeeper Michele Behina, who mustered 9 outstanding saves, stood between the sticks and history, with Cameroon's only victory over the Falcons dating back to 2012, a feat that has earned Cameroon an automatic slot in the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup in Brazil, with the Super Falcons now banished to focus on the long route of championship playoffs, where their fate for advancement to depend on the outcome of Thursday's playoff against South Africa. In a similar development, despite a promising run of results that shot them to the grand finale, Nigeria's Flying Eagles, the under-20 team, fell to a scorching 4-1 defeat to Burkina Faso in the West African Football Union Zone B finals that held on Sunday at the State Shores Konan Bani in Yamoussoukro, Cote d'Ivoire. The result means eventual winners Burkina Faso secure the West African Football Union Zone B title and earn a place at the 2027 Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations to improve chances of qualifying for the 2027 FIFA Under-20 World Cup, while Nigeria's Flying Eagles return home. For Sports Roundup, Yaksat Maklek.
And that is it on News Tracks. Stay tuned for global news at 6:30 p.m. and news updates at 10 p.m. But before then, enjoy the rest of our programs and have a very wonderful afternoon. Thanks for watching.